Hello, how are you? Are you focused? Today we're going to do a buying guide for Carolina Herrera Bad Boy. There's 4 that we're going to compare. We're going to go through them together. We'll go through the fragrance, the scent, the performance and when you can wear them, and we're going to work out which one's best. So stay right there and enjoy the video. Now I think Carolina Herrera are a really good fragrance brand. The fragrances that I've tried from them are all really creative, they're long lasting, and the fragrances are all really well blended and they're unique in their own way. These 4, we're going to try the whole Bad Boy line. So I've got the original, which is here. We've got the Bad Boy Superstar, the Le Parfum, and the brand new Bad Boy Cobalt. So we're going to start off with the original. This is this one. This is the Bad Boy Eau de Toilette. The main notes I get from the original are black pepper, amberwood, cocoa, and sage. Now when I say cocoa, it's not a chocolate note, it's more like kind of dark cocoa powder. It's kind of got a bitterness and an earthiness to it, and it's very sweet. So the original Bad Boy is a very sweet, youthful fragrance, and I'm not going to say that it's a, you know, one of those bubblegum smelling really sweet fragrances like 1 Million for example, but it's a really sweet, seductive fragrance, and I think it's quite sexy, and it's actually a really good compliment getter. One of my friends actually wears this as his signature scent, and every time I see him, I always smell him when he's like a few feet away from me. So I think that's a really good sign that this projects well and is a really good performer, especially as it's an eau de toilette. Now, the original Bad Boy, for me, is best suited for nights out. It's nights out when you're going out having fun, you're with your friends, you're having a few drinks, or you're just celebrating and having a laugh in general. I wouldn't say it's great as a kind of casual wear or office fragrance, although you can definitely wear it in those circumstances, but for me, I just prefer it when going out because I think it's a real fun, youthful fragrance, and that's why it's best to wear in that situation. I think Bad Boy EDT can be worn by any age group. As it's a sweet fragrance, it definitely does favour the younger generation, but I don't think anyone, even, you know, someone aged 40, 50, 60 would have any trouble wearing Bad Boy. It's a really mass pleasing fragrance. I don't think many people are going to dislike this when you wear it. It's going to get you a lot of compliments, and I think it's just an all-round well blended, easy to wear fragrance. Right, we are going to move on to Bad Boy Le Parfum. This is the second one in the line, and I've had this for about a year and a half. It's a beautiful matte black bottle, and the bottle is very heavy. This is a 150ml bottle. It's really solid. Now this is completely different to the original Bad Boy. There are a couple of notes that are the same, but apart from that, it's a complete fresh start, and it's a different fragrance entirely. This opens up actually with really interesting notes of juicy grapefruit and cannabis. Cannabis is a really interesting fragrance note because there's not a huge amount of fragrances that use a note of cannabis. I really enjoy the smell. The fragrances I've smelt with cannabis in, I find them really interesting, and this is no different. This really starts off very interesting because you've got that green cannabis mixed with the juicy grapefruit, and for me this is a much darker, I would say, mysterious version of the original Bad Boy. And out of all of the 4 fragrances that are called Bad Boy, this one is the only one I think that is justified to be called it. This actually smells like a Bad Boy because you've got the cannabis, you've got the grapefruit, you've got a lovely smoky leatheriness in leathery in the dry down. It's a leathery smell, and I can imagine somebody who is driving a motorbike wearing a leather jacket, smoking cigarettes, who would pull this off really well. A typical Bad Boy, if you like. So this one is my favourite personally from the line because I love the creativity, I love how it's so interesting, and a lot of the times nowadays designer fragrance brands are bringing out fragrances that are very generic and they're trying to appease everyone. But that's not the case with this. This is not going to be well liked by everyone. It's either going to be, I think it's either going to be really loved or not liked at all. So this one, I would strongly recommend wearing this when you're going out, similar to the original Bad Boy, but this is definitely not for the office, definitely not really for date nights, particularly unless you know the person with you likes it. So I would wear this solely for going out with your friends and wearing it around people that you know like the smell. This is Bad Boy Le Parfum. Moving on then to the third one from the line. This is Bad Boy Superstar, or Superstars. There's a lot of speculation actually. I was reading a lot of different people's opinions actually on whether this is the same as the original, that's just in a collector's bottle, or if the fragrance inside is different. Well, I've got both of them as you've seen, and I've tried both of them today on my hand just so I can see if there's any difference. For me, Bad Boy Superstars is a slightly fresher iteration of the original Bad Boy, but there's not huge differences at all, to be honest. They both have sage and bergamot in them. Both of them have got those notes. And what they've done with Bad Boy Superstar is they've just amped up those two notes. So they've made the bergamot and the sage stronger, and they've reduced the tonka bean and the cocoa note that is in the original. So it's still in this, and you can still smell it, but for me it's toned down. So this is just a slightly fresher version of the original Bad Boy, and for that reason I would not recommend you buy this particularly, because I don't think that it's justified to buy it. So if you've got the original, there's no need to buy this. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you've got the original and you either want a real slightly fresher version, it's not a huge difference at all, it's just slightly fresher, or you just love the bottle and you want this kind of metallic bottle for your collection, then I'd say go for it. But apart from that, I would just stick to the original if you like this fragrance. Now, forget everything you've heard about Superstars being a slightly fresh version of Bad Boy. This is a fresh version of Bad Boy. This is the new Carolina Herrera Bad Boy Cobalt. Now this is so different that it's almost like a completely new fragrance, whereas Superstars had the same notes basically, but it was just slightly, you know, the notes were slightly toned down. This is a completely new take, a new fragrance DNA, but it's still Bad Boy, and you can just about still tell that it's Bad Boy. Now the main notes of Bad Boy Cobalt are lavender, geranium, plum, vetiver, and truffle. Truffle is a very interesting earthy note, and then this starts off very fresh. You know, you've got the fruity plum, the lavender that gives an aromatic touch. And what I really like about this, it starts off fresh, it starts off juicy, and as it goes through the dry down, it changes. It goes to this kind of earthy, still kind of fresh, but earthy characteristic, and that is going to be from the vetiver and the truffle. So it's not a very linear fragrance, and what linear means in fragrances is they don't really change. You spray them on and it smells the same 5 hours later as it did in the first original application, but this doesn't. This changes after a couple of hours. It's going to change to a nice earthy vetiver truffle fragrance, and this is going to be really good for the summer. I can't wait for the weather to pick up in England where I can wear it. It's nice and warm and I can wear this, because I think this is going to work really well. Performance wise is actually really strong for a fresh fragrance. I find that on my skin, fresh fragrances don't always last that long. They can be quite fleeting, which is normal. I think generally citrus and fresh fragrances tend to disappear much quicker than the heavier fragrances, but this actually lasts really well. You'll get a good solid 6 hours from this, and this is going to be perfect for the summer, and it's going to be really versatile, so you can wear this pretty much anywhere. So on to the verdict then. Now, apart from the Bad Boy Superstars, I think the other three fragrances all have a place in my collection and in possibly your collection as well. The original one is really easy to wear, it's fun, it's sexy, and it's just a really nice fragrance to wear when you're going on a night out. The Superstars one we've talked about is just slightly fresher, so for me, I'm not going to recommend it to you. Bad Boy Le Parfum is a very interesting designer fragrance, and I'm really impressed with what they've done with the DNA here. Although it's going to be more challenging for you, and not everyone is going to like it. You have to be prepared that you're not always going to get compliments with this. People might not like the smell, but it's very interesting, and I think if you want a cannabis note, then this is a great choice. And the Cobalt, the new one, really impressed as well. Great for summer. We've got summer coming up, so I think if you're looking to buy summer fragrances and you like Bad Boy, or you want a summer juicy, you know, fresh version of Bad Boy, then go for this. So all three of them have a place in my collection, and I'm really interested to hear what is your favourite. Which one are you looking forward to trying most? Do you want the really interesting, intriguing Bad Boy Parfum, or are you excited to try this Bad Boy Cobalt for the summer? Let me know down in the comments right now, guys, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care.